All right, welcome back to the Average Bros podcast. This is episode 9. We have Matty, Durwood, Lewis, and myself. What's up, guys?
Jinx
You.
What's good?
It's the No Hat pod this week. Somehow, don't know. We didn't plan it, but it's how it
Got a haircut, so
I got a haircut, so.
Well, there you go.
Yeah.
Aaron, you might be muted. I'm not sure. But
I heard him.
You're not muted.
well, never mind.
If you hear my dog clicking around in the back because she's got her bone, she's trying to find somewhere to hide it.
I've never heard your dog. I feel like you always say like, "Oh, my dog's barking," and I'm like,
Because sometimes I know my mic is like very sensitive, so
okay.
No, we love dogs here.
True. Litterborg.
Guess we can just jump right into it. We had Major 4. I feel like that was kind of the biggest thing that happened this week.
True.
The LAN. And
First line back.
first LAN back. It was actually really fun. I really enjoyed watching it, but to no one's surprise, Atlanta came away with the victory.
Yeah.
They
my pick'ems too.
Surprise who they played against, though.
That was a big surprise to me. My pick'ems were shot from day one. I mean, as soon as Seattle won their first series, I was like, yo, this is chalked. We're done.
Yeah, that's
But,
pretty bad.
Surprising to watch at the beginning.
It was
True.
just, I don't know, man. It was just different. Like I just feel like you could kind of tell it was ramped up a little bit. People were just trying a little harder.
Being in the same room and everything kind of changed their mentalities.
I don't know if they were necessarily. I'm sure to some extent they were trying a little harder, but I think, to be honest, LAN puts everybody at an even playing field, so it made people look like they were playing better, when really it's how they've been playing all along. Because you're not going to switch your playstyle to play on LAN. You're just going to keep doing what you're doing and hope that your playstyle is consistent enough to keep up with the top teams, basically.
Being on LAN, the reaction time is a big factor there.
Yeah.
Like online, your ping can make a big difference there.
And I think that
which
actually
you can see with Surge.
I think that actually can change your playstyle though, because if you know you're constantly getting outgunned based off of ping, you have to play a little differently.
I meant like overall team. I think overall team playstyle though is what I'm saying. Like setups and things like that, or you're keeping those the same. However, your individual, yes, like the gunfights you're planning on taking, I think change because you're like, okay, I'm hot. I was like, my connection is not holding me back anymore. Which you saw like Seattle Surge take full advantage of it and ride that wave to like probably one of their highest placings ever.
I was gonna say it kind of seemed like early on ARs were like really dominant. I feel like the first like day especially we had like some good AR performances, but then I feel like it
ARs
by the end.
Yeah, the ARs are clear cut better than the submachine guns, but the submachine guns are needed for those like close quarter breaking hill type engagements or like map positionings and stuff like that. But the ARs are 100% better, except for Simp and Abizi's SMGs.
I was gonna say, I mean, like even like
limited edition.
Like they didn't win, but like Scump had a really good tournament as like a sub.
Yeah, he played really well.
Dallas got second. It went to a game 9.
I was
so hyped, man.
Yeah,
I wanted
that
round
was pretty
11
nice.
just for like the hype of it, but
yeah. Actually, I'm looking at my pick'ems right now, and I think I had. Well, obviously, I had FaZe winning the whole thing, but dude, the fact that it went game 9 was pretty cool, honestly. I like that this finals was that close because all the other finals have been one-sided. I don't think we've seen a game 9 yet, so it felt like I actually felt the stakes this time. Where the other ones I'm like, like it's a wash one way or the other.
Game 9 with FaZe Ultra, it was like a game 9 with FaZe and someone who hasn't been in the championship seat for a while.
Yeah.
So it was a little bit more hype for me. I was obviously for Empire because I don't want to watch FaZe win again.
Yeah.
I got 4 points from the bracket.
That's it.
From
That's it.
your pick'ems?
Yeah.
I got 13.
Well, I also had Optic going, and I had Optic winning the whole thing, but I mean,
Really? Ooh.
I'm putting an alarm on my phone, so I'm going to actually remember to make my picks.
I got 18.
18 points in your pick'ems?
Yeah. I'm close to David now. He's got 125.
I know he didn't
I got
fill his
160.
Because you got you picked subliners, right? Like you were riding that wave pretty hard.
I mean, my Thursday was like shot. It picked back up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm closing in on David.
Probably helped you out. Dude, my pick'ems made no sense whatsoever.
Well, no, subliners actually kind of they're the ones that screwed me in my bracket.
I would say it kind of sucked.
I completely forgot. Yeah, I completely forgot. Decimate.
Between that and with Hook, like that was chalked from day one. I mean,
dude, so many teams were put in bad spots. I think Optic, Subliners, Thieves, those 3 teams off the rip had such terrible things happen. Like Optic is just pretty much their own fault, like if you think about it, because they didn't have any team issues. But like Subliners and LA Thieves, bro, like these had it the worst, man, and it sucks because their whole season has been so bad.
What do you make of that? The Hook stuff.
Just an unfortunate mistake, man.
Dude,
like it shouldn't happen. You're an
adult.
You're an adult. And
Thieves posted a video of. So what day did the event start? Thursday, right?
Yeah.
So Wednesday, I guess the teams were allowed at the venue to like warm up, practice on land, everything, just like get into that feel. And Hook was there because they did like a vlog from Wednesday. Hook was at the venue practicing with his team, but Thursday he couldn't get into the venue.
It's they said it was every like night, I think, before you have to take the test and then check in or do like a check-in for the next day. And I believe he failed to or he misspelled his name. But what a lot of people were saying is that it was kind of dumb that even like the name misspelling didn't let him in because he was already there the day before. Yeah. And if it passes the test, then what's the issue with the name? You know what I mean? Like it doesn't really like 2 + 2 = 6 or something. Like it does, it's kind of weird. I think it's a little too hard, low key, because of COVID regulations being so across the country and in Texas being so loose. And I get the CDL has to watch their own back kind of thing, but it's like
it's still dumb because you figured it's a closed event, so the people know who he is.
Exactly.
I guarantee you he hangs out with his teammates outside of the event.
Not even that. Who's running it? That's in charge of like the COVID protocol.
Yes.
Like someone can't talk to someone and go, "Hey, he spelled his name wrong. Here's his ID."
But it's him. We promise it's him.
Yeah.
It's like that was like way too. They were way too strict with that rule. I think it definitely shouldn't happen. Like you're an adult, but it's like they also like you're the law. Like you don't have to do that. Like there's no point. Like you said, it's like a closed event.
It really sucked not getting to see like that team on land. Really.
Yeah.
They practiced as not playing on land. I was looking forward to seeing it after all the BS that Hook went through prior to that.
Yeah, same. I was hoping for some sort of Dallas like Thieves situation.
I would want that.
And
that would be nice.
Low key, the bracket was almost set for Thieves to do something there, but I don't know. It would have been weird. Yeah.
I was surprised, especially by 2 teams, Seattle and Dallas, both obviously.
Honestly, I'll do you one more. I think Seattle, Dallas, and New York all surprised me. Because I think New York, you were expecting them to go out pretty quick with the pickup team.
Yeah.
But they lasted pretty long. They got top 6.
They made it to round 4 losers.
I don't think
like
that
top 6,
surprised
right?
me as much, just because like I know Decimate's good. Like he didn't get benched from Seattle because he was bad. He left Seattle because he didn't want to play for them. But
no. I'm saying like for them to even make top 6 with like it's like you're trying to fill in like really important. Like everybody was like harping on it like the whole weekend, trying to fill Asim's shoes because he's such like he's like their route guy. Like every top team has like a route guy, and that's him. It's like when you try to like just replace that like a week before, like you shouldn't be able to replicate those results at the higher levels, which they showed. Granted, they went out top 6, but still top 6 for a pickup team.
Yeah,
not bad.
No, I feel you. That's kind of what I was saying. I wasn't surprised that they lost. I was surprised. I guess I just wasn't as surprised that they did as good as they did.
Right. Okay. That's fair too, because they're
a very
individual
good
player.
Yeah. They're a very good team. It does suck.
Well.
Did you see he got approved? His visa approved though?
Yes, I did see that. I saw his the GIF he posted. That was funny.
So yeah, he'll be back. Hopefully, Hook can spell his name right next time. So he should be back.
It's funny too because I had picked them to go out in losers round 4, but I just had them on the wrong
side. When did I have them going out? Pretty sure mine was pretty similar. Yeah, I had them. Yeah, I had them. Yeah, elimination round 4, but against Empire.
Yeah, so that's what I had.
Wait, that's exactly what happened.
No, I mean, I had
but it's the wrong side of the bracket.
Yeah, I had them on the
me too. Yeah, me too. No, me too. What the hell? I predicted that. How crazy.
I would have not gotten there because I would not have picked it the way that it came out.
Yeah, no. I don't think anybody could have predicted this.
I would not have picked Rocker beating Subliners 3-0 in the first round. I would not have picked that.
Yeah.
I would have picked them losing to FaZe 3-0 in the second round.
Dude, I
didn't make my picks because I'm lazy and dumb.
It happens. I don't think David did his either.
Yeah.
No, he didn't.
Well, that's David and me. David's in first, and I'm in like close to last. You're catching me very quickly.
And I just started.
I had Optic beating.
It was just 31 points.
Optic beating Dallas 3-0 day 1, and that was the complete opposite of what happened.
Me too. I think most people did, low key, because Dallas was looking inconsistent leading up to the major. They were looking kind of like Florida, like how Florida has like their ebbs and flows. They were looking just like that. So to me, I was like, okay, if Optic's on point, and they definitely not.
Yeah,
they should have beat them, but
dude, I
don't
know
what
Dallas played well. Dallas was on something different.
I mean, Dallas got second, so low key, they just came out and played their game, and Optic was not expecting them to be that good. I don't think.
The second matchup was definitely better, but still,
I mean, yeah, 3-0 versus a 3-1, yeah.
I just felt like the games were close.
Oh, for sure. They were in blowouts.
Did you see Crim6's tweet after the second series?
Yeah.
So, of course.
I mean, it was just funny. Did you guys see
the fun
coming out?
The funnier thing about the before we move on from it, about the Crim6 tweet is that when he beat them day 1, he was like on his high horse about like, yeah, I'm not gonna do all that. Like I know the fans want it, but honestly, GG's, it is what it is. You know, we go on to the tournament. And then when he beat them the next time, he's like, "Oh, get fucking shit on, Jack Black. Like you fucking suck. Like you know,
you owe me $6,000."
Yeah, wait, what happened? What happened to the energy like from Thursday?
Well, it's just like his
Jack Black.
It's just like his latest tweet.
Ever.
Oh yeah, no, but it was. I think even Formal probably found it fun.
No, he said GG's or whatever. So Formal wasn't butthurt. He's like, hey man, like I got this shit and I can take it.
Were you talking about his tweet about letting 12 teams compete at champs?
Yeah, he did the same thing with that. He tweeted one thing and then a day later he's like, psych, you know.
Oh.
Should have bought a Netgear Nighthawk.
I feel like that's like Crim's whole personality, bro. Like he's like day and night, you know? Like sometimes he's like says something and you're like, wow, this guy's like very smart. And then the next day he'll just say some crazy shit and you're just like, wait, what?
The best thing is like all the people responding to his first tweet and then his second tweet goes out and everyone's like, oh, wait, really?
Yeah.
No, did you see Scump posing like Crim6? Doing the just like
with the
arms out.
Yeah.
It was just I don't know, it was funny. Let's see. So we've got. I mean, is there anything else that really surprised you about the tournament? Anything that really stood out?
Yes. I don't know what. Trying to think.
Can I just say, watching Dallas this tournament, watching FaZe, and watching Toronto is just, it's a different game. They're playing a different game of Call of Duty. Also, Arcity supposedly shot a cruise missile out of the air.
I saw that. I saw that.
Yeah.
That's actually ridiculous. He's correct.
Yeah, that's good. I was gonna say one thing that surprised me was Ultra. I feel like I don't think they're like any. I think they're still like a powerhouse team. I just think they're letting their foot off the pedal a little bit. Like losing to Dallas like that is weird to me because didn't they beat New York last tournament, or am I tripping at the last major? Or am I wrong about that?
Yeah.
Or like in the league play, or like in the league home series. I don't remember, but anyway, I am surprised. Maybe like New York has, or sorry, Empire has like a really good structure around like doing a little bit of counterplay while also being really good at like knowing what they want to execute on. So it's weird to me that, I mean, they lost in the game 5, right? So it's still very close. But I don't know. Ultra, I feel like Ultra should have done better. I think they should have been in second because they won a tournament not too long ago, and where Empire, they're a newer team, so you would expect Ultra to be like a level above them.
Like they don't have to build anything. They don't have to build anything new.
Yeah, they just had to refine.
Better at what
Yeah,
they're doing.
Yeah, they just had to refine some things, and Ultra should have been competing in the grand finals. But I mean, I guess Empire did their homework right, or did something right with their picks and bans, or they knew something we didn't. So
I was gonna say, because the first 2 games of that series were not close. It was 250 to 69. Toronto won, checkmate hardpoint, and standoff search was 6-2.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be like a 3-1 after that point.
I thought it was 3-0 quick. 3-0.
No, I could see Dallas bouncing back, but the reverse sweep, didn't see that.
I mean, it was just, and it was super close games after that too.
Yeah,
but
the whole series was super close. Which I was like,
except that first map, that checkmate hard.
Yeah, yeah, the last 3 maps were really close.
Yeah. I don't know, that it surprised me, but the way Dallas was playing, and it's also, it's the end of the year. This is what they did last year, man. Like, I know it's not the same team, but it's the same, some of the same core. I mean, like, Crimsix is the leader of that team, and this is the exact same thing they did last year, where they weren't, they were good but not great all year, and then coming into the year, they were just the best team. Yeah. And I don't think they're the best team. Obviously, Atlanta's still the best team, but I think Dallas is definitely hitting their groove.
Yeah, because last year top 3 was Huntsman, Dallas, Atlanta, right? Pretty much.
I think so.
Like for the most part of the year, I think, with like the overall points. Yeah. So I think this year only like New York kind of came out of nowhere and like started dominating, but not surprising. Oh yes. Totally proud of that. Because Toronto also picked up their stride towards the end of last year, because they won that one home series, right? With
I think they won their own home series, didn't they?
Oh yeah, true. Yeah, it was their own home series.
Which
I guess
they're all online, but still.
Yeah, I guess I wasn't super. I wasn't really taken back with Toronto improving this year, just like at the rate that they did with winning a major and like beating FaZe. That was impressive. So that's what I'm saying. Like, back to the whole thing, I was just like, I expected more from them. So I hope they pick it up later. Same with Chicago, same with New York, obviously.
I think for me, the biggest thing with Toronto this year was they benched Methods, which was like, everyone was like, why would you do that? And now we know why they did that, because their Methods is a very good player, but they are a much better team with insight.
Yeah. Probably a mixture of reasons behind the scenes, but obviously the right choice.
So we have stage 5 coming up soon. I think it starts next week, right?
Yeah. I think this week's off, or was last week off?
I did check.
Was the deal.
Oh wow.
When is Champs?
In like 2 months? Not this month. August? Pretty sure mid to late August.
I don't know if they had
usually
it on their website yet, honestly. I feel like they only
usually
like 1 or 2 majors ahead.
It's usually in August, though. I don't, there's no need. They've been doing it month by month, so it doesn't make sense to push it to like September.
Yeah,
but they might.
I feel like
that's what it's top 8 or
top
12.
8 make it.
8 top 8.
So there's 12 teams, and the top 8 are the only ones that make it. They don't have anything about stage 5 on their schedule.
Yeah, they're doing the. I assume they're gonna do the draft sometime in the next week,
Like groups.
and then or the group like picks and whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Talk about the top 8 only like thing from Champs.
Yeah, how do you guys feel about that?
I saw a tweet earlier and I can't find it now. It was it Crim6 replying to himself on Twitter? He said something about like let all 12 teams play, and then he just straight up.
Yeah, that was the
tweet we were talking about. Like he was like just trolling.
So, but yeah.
In my opinion, it makes sense to me to only do the top 8. I would like to see all 12 teams there, but I also understand if
they're treating it like traditional sports playoff.
Exactly. The Jaguars don't make the playoffs except once every 10 years because they're never in the top, half of the league. So it makes sense.
I think someone, and I don't remember who it was, but it was on one of like Clayster's like threads where he was talking about it. Someone mentioned like even having 12 spots for teams, but having the top 4 challengers teams potentially be able to take the 9th through 12th spots, which I don't know. Yeah, kind of, sort of, right? Like except for like the 4 teams from the league just don't make it flat out, but the 4 teams from challengers do. And I don't know if that I don't know if I disagree with that. I mean, in my head, it kind of makes sense. Somebody was talking about.
I don't think why would you put them from challengers right into champ?
Yeah, right. For like the league.
That's what I was thinking. I think it should be relegation to get into the league.
But that being said, these orgs paid
to steal a league spot.
You can't just kick them out.
Yeah, walk in. Yeah,
no, I mean, you'd have to establish that from like the beginning.
Yeah,
it was like the HCS Pro Season. They had the relegation.
Yeah. Relegation was cool, man.
Relegation, the best thing that came out of Halo relegation was Ninja's video after E6 got kicked down to relegation.
I don't remember that.
It was.
I gotta watch that back.
It was Lil Jon shots, but Ninja made his own lyrics to it, and it was. It was great.
I like Adam Apicella from Esports Engine, former MLG. He had a good tweet. He said, "Teams should be eliminated after a robust regular season. However, I don't think teams should start in losers if they qualify."
Yes,
I agree with that.
Right.
Yeah.
I saw another tweet from him, and basically it said, do your CDL Champs like with the top 8 teams, but then do another tournament that is a Champs style tournament like the way it used to be, and have every team make it, and your top 4 teams from challengers make it a 16-team bracket.
Yeah, I didn't see that. He has a follow-up where he says they should do an Olympic Overwatch World Cup style event.
What is that for those that are unfamiliar, like myself?
In Overwatch League, they have the World Cup every year, and it's just like the Olympics. It's players from their country represent their country, and then they play in a tournament. It's actually pretty for Overwatch. At least it's pretty good.
Yeah, until they expand the league and we get more players from not just the UK and not just
Sydney team.
You could get like a Canada team, a US team, and a UK team. Every other country's kind of like out of it.
Unless you did it like regional, you could do that. But again, I don't know.
Yeah, regions would probably work better than like doing country bases until the league gets bigger and until the COD scene favors countries other than the North America, the big 3
in England.
Yeah.
I think his theory is thinking with that is that it's not going to be all CDL pros.
Yeah,
you're going to have amateur players because that's how it is in Overwatch, and they gain recognition because it's players from the country. So if they only have 2 pros, then they fill in the other 2 spots with the next best 2.
You know what that reminds me of?
Overwatch though, I'm pretty sure it's fan voted.
Okay, I'll say I don't know about that one.
Yeah.
That reminds me of the World War II and then the Black Ops 4 seasons where in World War II, I don't know if you guys remember that team Mind Freak, the Australian team that came out of that team that came out of almost nowhere, and they were like not the greatest, but they were like a big dark horse for a minute in the league. And then in Black Ops 4, that Spanish team,
was it Heretics?
Was it Heretics? I think it was. I think
it was
Heretics.
the first name that came to my head.
Yeah, and it was like that full Spanish roster. That was cool too, man. Those guys.
Dude, I love their listenings.
So you're right, yeah. If they make it like fan voted, and then like amateur teams can jump in and they do like a world champ thing, I could see something happening with that. That'd be awesome.
It's cool, and it's Activision. They do with Overwatch, but it's just cool to see because it gives a lot of exposure to newer players that might be stuck.
Yeah, or smaller
regions in challenge. Yeah, exactly.
That don't support that kind of.
And like they get sponsored, like companies, like they'll get sponsorships from companies from that their area. It's cool to see. It's almost reminding me of like the World Cyber Game way back. Halo days.
Yeah, I think that would make for something interesting for champs. Though I think the top 8 teams is super fine. Because like if you just don't make it, man, like I think Clay literally said that. He's just like, dude, you guys just gotta win your games. He's like, that's on you. And I kind of agree. I'm like, dude, I mean, sometimes you do get the shit under the stick with online, but
now that
things are picking back up and going back,
you're still gonna get 3-0'd round 1 and go home. So like, what's the point?
Yeah. Basically, I think a good group play would help. Or
you got to do group play into brackets. Do like group draft. And then group play into a bracket.
Yeah. Talk about like the international teams. Sorry, what were you saying, Lewis? I was talking about the international teams. That's something I want to see more of in the future from like Call of Duty, and especially with like Halo Infinite. Like, I don't know, like going to events and seeing. Like, I remember at Worlds there was the Australian team, and like there was a dude that was like 6'8" there.
Epsilon was European.
And I don't know. I just think having like.
What am I thinking about?
More players.
Team Immunity or something.
That's
maybe one of those.
Right.
Sounds way cooler. I'm gonna go with that.
I don't know. I just feel like having those players get exposed like that, like you were saying, like that's only gonna be good for the esport and for the game.
Yeah. But the problem, Halo just needs to get popular enough to where there's enough competition in a region.
I think they also need to have more competition in the region. They need to have more tournaments.
But that goes to Matty's point of it being more popular.
If no one's playing the game, they're not going to put the money into the have competitions.
Yeah. It's kind of like how it is Team
Immunity. They stopped. You had Asia in Halo Worlds 2016, and then they weren't in Halo Worlds after that because I think qualifiers had like 6 teams.
Yeah.
So it's like it was pointless.
A game that's doing that so well right now is Valorant. So I see what Ice is saying. It's kind of like I envy that in that like a Halo perspective, just because it would be insane to see something like what Valorant has been doing, where they have these like regional things that lead up to like a world type event, where they only invite like a select amount, like 2 teams from every region, and then have them duke it out basically.
So there's a simple reason, like if you want Halo to be as big as possible, it's got to move to PC. And it's got to be mouse and keyboard viable, because Xboxes don't sell anywhere other than the Europe, Australia, and the US.
Well, they haven't. They didn't deny that it's going to PC, right? They haven't said. I just haven't.
They haven't said, but I'm talking even mouse and keyboard.
Oh, I'm sure Halo. I hope, especially with the response rate on the strafe. I don't know if you guys saw. I don't know who posted it. One of the Halo content creators posted like a GIF of one of the Spartan strafe and how fast it looked and how responsive it was. I think I'd hope that this is like the first Halo game that can be met or matched against mouse and keyboard versus controller, because like we saw with Reach, that controller was just like really, really good. Halo 3. They're just like they're games that were developed for console and like controller gaming, so it's like you can't really fully integrate like a mouse and keyboard system to the movement that's like made already for game.
But there's already the red flag, which I brought up a while ago. And Active's making a bigger stink of it on Twitter, but how they said that ranked playlist is going to be separated by input.
Oh, I saw that. Yeah.
Now, Unachek said it's not, nothing is still final. Even everything we see, like that strafe might be changed by the time the game comes out.
Yeah.
So he said, like, it's not final yet, or it's not doom and gloom, but they said their plan is to keep them separated and ranked. So that just tells you right away, when it comes to a tournament, it's probably going to be controller only.
I think I can see that. I know for there was like a Reach event where they didn't deny like you could use mouse and keyboard, like it wasn't in the rules.
There's a guy playing with both.
Yeah.
When he grabbed Sniper, he was playing mouse and keyboard. As a dream hack.
Yeah.
Was
That's
that
like that's the play.
Right?
I don't remember which one it was, but
Like James.
no, it wasn't Anaheim because I was there, so it wasn't Anaheim. But I watched him when he grabbed Snipe, he put the controller in his lap and he went to mouse and keyboard.
It's actually amazing.
I could see them. I could see them being responsive in the sense of like wanting that for the community, where the mouse and keyboard can compete against controller. Because I think it's a lot better when there's no boundaries for it, or rather when they have like a system where you can turn on and like an on and off switch of like if everybody turns the switch on, you can play with people that also don't care if they compete against mouse and keyboard or controller.
Right.
Turn it off, you only compete against people that are on the same using the same utility you are. So to me,
that's what everyone
should be up to the players.
I think they have to.
I don't think they should take it.
They have that in MCC right now.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's been a big playground. So
yeah, everyone's saying just do that, where you just I want to play against a mixed. If not, all right, I just want to play against a controller.
I mean, like,
and I think Overwatch just went into crossplay, so I think they're implementing that as well. Go ahead, sorry.
Like, what are you guys gonna use? Like, when Infinite comes out, are you gonna play? I assume you guys are all gonna play on PC.
Yeah, definitely. I'll probably stick to controller. Yeah, I'll probably stick to controller, but I'll try it out on PC if the controls feel right.
Yeah. I think,
but usually faster games I'm not good with on keyboard. I always fat finger.
Yeah. I have to play a lot more Apex to get my like movement and like close quarter fighting up to par. But I'd like to think I'd play with mouse and keyboard. If I'm just getting dumped on though, I'm busting out the controller.
See, it's like right away. Like if what they say is true, then we're not going to be able to play with you ranked game.
Yeah.
Oh,
so I'll just
think
switch.
your mic is messed up or something.
You think so?
Well, you said something, but it like cut out. I don't think it was messed up. I think it's just the gain. I think it's the gain of when you speak.
It's possible. In terms of the mouse and keyboard thing, though, I've been playing like Call of Duty on mouse and keyboard, and that's kind of just what I've been used to now. I tried to go back to controller, and it was not good. But in terms of Halo, like if I'm gonna I'm gonna play the competitive playlist, and they have that like only one input can play with this input, and then like controllers can play with the controllers, right?
Yeah.
If I'm gonna be playing like with Bash, I'm gonna have to get used to the controller again. So I'm probably right out the gate gonna try it with controller and see if I can still actually hold one correctly.
I feel like I don't think that. How do I put this? They're gonna separate it. Sorry, I think they will separate it as far as if you're playing with your squad all on controller, you're gonna match controller players. If you're playing with mouse and keyboard, you're gonna match mouse and keyboard players. And I think if you're playing with mixed, you're gonna match with mouse and keyboard players.
Yeah.
I think
But the problem you get with that is what happens when the population is low and you can't find a group. Now you're increasing wait times. That's the problem they have with Halo 5. Low population, it's hard to find matches.
Yeah.
Or you play the same people over and over and over.
I think they're expecting to not have low population.
Right. I'm just saying it's something
you have to think about. 100%. Yeah, I agree.
I also think that's something that down the road they can change. So if that becomes an issue, then they can change it.
I'm sure they'll be tweaking it. Yeah.
I feel like you should just do it from the get-go, because then you're just gonna have people complaining later. Like now, this
people are gonna complain anyways, regardless.
Right, but they either you when it's low population and then you do it now, people start complaining. Well, I don't want to play with them, and they just stop playing altogether. Where if it's from the beginning, they know what they're getting.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying.
I think you have to either keep it mixed, and tournaments will be mixed, so people know, right, like I said, right from the get-go, rank is mixed, and if you play in a tournament, there's a chance you play against someone with mouse and keyboard, so everyone just gets used to it, rather than if you keep it separated, and then now you lose everyone. Yeah, now you have your Halo World Championship, and everyone who plays on mouse and keyboard, can't play.
I think we have to see how well it plays, like if it's viable
until
for both.
Yeah, until they like officially say, until they officially tell me like it is that way and it's going to be that way for a while. Of like controller players can only play with controller players and match controller players, and vice versa for mouse and keyboard. I'll probably, knowing my friend group, because everybody's like pretty 50-50. I'll probably play controller like ranked with certain friends, and then mouse and keyboard ranked with other friends.
Mm-hmm.
But will that like it's weird too, because I'm curious if that has any effect on like your rank in terms of like, oh, if I get, let's use like Halo 5 ranks, if I get to Onyx, then I only play mouse and keyboard players, and there's less champs players in mouse and keyboard for whatever reason. Will I get champ faster if I'm only playing mouse and keyboard? And then if I switch to controller, will I keep my champ rank? And will I match more champs? Will that kick me out? I don't know. It's like, do they have their own leaderboards completely? Like, what's going on with that? So that's kind of weird.
But getting back to the beginning, if they want it to be more popular around the world, it's got to be played on PC.
Yeah, I agree.
I agree with you.
Because that's part of Phil Spencer's thing. Phil Spencer even says like he wants to sell more in like specifically Japan, because they don't sell. So that's why your Asia population is so low, because no one there has an Xbox.
Yeah,
but they all have a PC.
Imagine like you are allowed to compete against like a full controller team versus a full mouse keyboard team. It would be actually really cool to see that like on a LAN environment of two teams, like, and I hope it'd be close on either side, but like seeing that like at the higher levels of competitive play would be pretty awesome. To be like, oh, that team's only on mouse and keyboard, this team's only on controller. Like,
you would have like a whole new like crowd like vibe. Like usually like in Counter-Strike it's like NA versus the world kind of stuff. Like when Liquid won the DreamHack that we were at, it was like so cool because it was an NA team winning at an NA event. But you would have like all your controller players in the crowd would be like going nuts when the controller team's winning.
Just hold your controllers up.
Yeah. That would actually be so funny. We kind of talked about ranking a little bit, so we might as well jump into this. I wish David was here because we were talking about this yesterday, but like league play ranking system in Call of Duty makes no sense, and I feel like a lot of games have this issue where the people that really truly want to play ranked are the ones that follow competitive, that understand. They understand like the way to play, I guess, and the ranking system just doesn't make any sense. It's ranked play, but they kind of tool it to fit casuals.
I get you. It's like a lazy form of ranked play.
Yeah.
Or it's like, here are the 4 ranks, you either fall into one of them, and that's kind of it.
So I don't remember exactly how it worked in Black Ops 4, as far as if it was such a short like turnaround for ranks. But in Cold War, I think you can play for 2 days and your rank resets. And basically you play one game, you get ranked, you get a ladder of 50 people, and you can only move up and down that ladder. You move up for wins, you get points for wins, you lose points for losses. And at the end of the...
I can't stand
right. It's awful.
It makes no sense. Like I rank and I literally have no idea, like, am I good?
It doesn't make sense.
You're just playing. No, you're just playing. You're not good or bad.
It's like day one, I've been in like competitor, which is like the lowest tier, And I don't feel like I play like a competitor tier.
Right.
No, like
I'm not great by any means, but I feel like I'm better than that.
Well, and I feel like too. I feel like me and you have been like both in competitor, and then I'm like, oh, what are you? And then I literally like I can't see you. You know, like I can't see where you are.
Yeah.
Because we're ranked the same, but we're on 2 different ladders, and it's like, well, how do I know if I'm better or worse?
Yeah, I never liked that ladder system. Black Ops 4 had that, I remember. And you were just in a random ladder with these random kids, and you're just there. Like,
and you just hope
you
that
never
you
meet
get
these
into the
guys.
same ladder as little Tommy that doesn't go to school, that just stays in his mom's basement and grinds League play for 12 hours a day. Because
Dude,
if you
I
are,
remember
never
my ladder
first
was
in your ladder.
My Black Ops 4 ladder was close, man, for a while. And I remember I took like a week off, and everybody just skyrocketed.
See, and I feel like the Black Ops 4 ladders were longer. Like I feel like you were in your ladder longer.
It wasn't just 3 days.
Yeah, it's literally 3 days.
Oh, wow. Really?
Like every time I hop on to play, it's like play one game to get ranked. And if I click on my ladder, it tells me play one more game to get ranked, but it has a rank for me in the corner. And the last 3 times I've gotten ranked, the rank it says in the corner is what I've gotten ranked, no matter how I play.
Kind of a shit show.
It's ridiculous.
It doesn't make any sense because, like, even if I go in and play my one game to get ranked, if we dominate, I still get competitor.
It has.
You get to like advanced or elite.
I feel like it has nothing to do with how you play.
It's kind of nasty though.
I don't understand it.
I wanted to say that it had something to do with like how you did previously, but that doesn't make sense.
No.
There's been times where I went on like a winning streak and I still got competitive.
Bro, I started up my first game. I was playing by myself, waiting for everybody else to get on. I start up my first game. My doorbell rings. I have to go outside to talk to some dude that's trying to like look at my roof for hail damage. And when I come back in, I got kicked, and I still got ranked elite. And I literally did not touch my controller.
It probably does have an influence of past games.
They need something like how Halo 5, like Josh Mankey, who was the guy behind the ranking system, was always like open and available to ask questions, and he would roast half the people.
Yeah.
They need someone like that who can like
I've
explain
Googled
what's
it
going on.
like once a week, and there's no explanation for how it works.
I have a point I think is a ranking system that I'm really liking right now that is still being worked on because it's not great. Is the Valorant ranking system? I really like how they're doing it just because you have to. I think at the start of every season, you have to re-rank, and then so you're unranked, and then you have to like do your placements, or like one placement match, and then you're in. And normally, unless you like significantly improve overnight, you end up in the same rank you were just at, so you don't lose or gain any progress.
Yeah.
You just kind of get to keep going from where you were. But it's very much like the win-loss system, which is like, you know, what we know from like the what is it, like 0 to 50 ranking system, where you like, if you win a game, you get like plus 20 points. If you lose a game, you get like minus 20, or you know, varies by a few digits depending on like how well you individually perform at like lower elos. But I like that ranking system a lot.
That's what it should be. Win-loss, I feel like, should be the main factor.
But then it should also have ranks though, like not like just like a title of like the 4, like I said, like your 4 titles of like competitor, Like I like that whole like.
No, yeah, I mean, I'm talking about like calculating like where you're at. Like win-loss should be first in like the first factor, and then it should look into, all right, how well did you play, and then how well were the people that you played against.
Yeah, I think the way it calculates it is like your score per minute, right, or score per something, or like kills per minute.
In Call of Duty,
it's one of those in Call of Duty. Yeah.
Dude, I don't know. It doesn't make
sense.
No
real. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it has to be something related to that, though. I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
What were you saying?
But I heard that.
Work like the Rocket League ranking system. Like the seasons don't have to be as long because Rocket League seasons are insanely long. Yeah, but it seriously, it bases it off your previous rank. You play 10 full games to get ranked again, and it puts you near where you were, and then you can climb up or go down from that.
And it's not like the way Halo 5 was.
Yeah, it's the same idea.
I don't remember Halo 5 rank.
Yeah,
I remember when they would reset, you were pretty close. Yeah, which is pretty similar. Those are good ranking systems, though. And then they have so many different tiers, so you know exactly like where you are. Like I said, I think if the Call of Duty one is just like those 4 names, and you're just like you're in an all-encompassed like rank. It's kind of weird. I like when it's like bronze 1, bronze 2, bronze 3, like that kind of thing. I follow a lot better than like a bronze, silver, gold. Like,
And I like,
oh, well, what kind of gold player am I?
I liked in Halo 5 too, because you could also see how close you were to the next rank.
Oh yeah,
Like a progress bar.
And
Yeah.
you could also move up in Call of Duty.
To be fair, that's most games, I think.
That's true.
So COD just
in league play, you can't move up. No matter how good you do, you can get to first on your ladder if you grind, but you cannot move up. You can't go from competitor to advanced.
I think that's the
back down.
What's the company that made Black Ops or Black Cold War? Treyarch? Yeah, their ranking system kind of is doggy poo poo.
But see, Black Ops 2 had a really good ranking system.
That was Black Ops 2. That was like 8
Black
Black Ops ago.
Yeah.
I think people are saying World War II had a similar ranking system to like Halo 5, where at the very top, at the very top, I heard from like pro players, you'd only play against pro players, so it's almost like you were playing like ace.
Yeah.
Because top, like the champs 1 through 25 are usually on like a pro team or an AM team, so something like that was
Bro, I can't remember who
Black
it
Ops
was,
or
but
Cold
there
War
was a
is.
pro that had 2 accounts in the top 10 of ranked.
Damn.
I can't remember
How
what
do
it
you do
was.
that? I know in Halo 5 Frosty did that. He had like his Eco account and then his Frosty account. Pretty wild.
Did we talk about World Series of Warzone at all?
No.
I know we talked about it
don't
before,
think so.
but World Series of Warzone's going on, and it's actually pretty cool. Because it's an official, right? It's an official Activision.
Yeah, it's an official Call of Duty thing, but Twitch Rivals is hosting.
Oh yeah.
And then Esports Engine is running.
Yeah, it's like a $300,000 prize pool.
Yeah.
It's good. The production on it's nice. It's awesome.
I mean, it should be. It's Esports Engine.
Esports Engine, yeah. No, I don't know. I think it's cool. It's I'm glad they're doing something with it, because I do think that Battle Royale does have a place in esports, and I mean, I don't know. Like, there's a lot of potential for Warzone.
I had a friend. I had a friend recently that I was debating whether Warzone was an esport or not. Simply because like up until now they've never really had like lobbies where competitors compete against other competitors. They've usually just done like pub stomps.
Yeah.
But I told him, I was like, oh, I thought esports was basically when you're just making money off of like a game or like a tournament sort of like situation. So I thought that conversation was kind of funny because he was like arguing his point, and then I was trying to like see where he was coming from, but I was just like, I would call it an esport, but I don't know if it like is a traditional esport like by any means. I'm not really sure.
I would label it as an esport. I'd go more like what your buddy was saying, when it's more organized.
Yeah.
Other than that, I would call it just like competitive wars.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Competitive wars.
Even though there's tournaments for hundreds of thousands of dollars, this is like the first like organized
private lobby situation.
Yeah,
I think the private lobby is what makes it. It's everybody competing against each other, and I think that's what makes it like. That's
more
the esport
esports
part of it to me.
esque. Yeah, for
And
sure.
it's not
like you said,
traditional.
you're not
because
just
esports isn't traditional sports either.
You're just not doing like kill races, like you said, and pub stomping.
I'm actually interested to see. I need to go back and watch some of it, and just see how they're playing, because it was a big thought. Like, are they gonna play for kills, or are they gonna play just to survive till the end?
Well, that's where the point system comes into.
Yeah, the point system, I know they made it a little bit more rewarding for getting actual kills, so people were like trying to get into gunfights and stuff like that. So yeah, honestly, when I watched a little bit of it from Formal's perspective, and they were getting into like playing gunfights. I didn't see them like really ratting until they got near like top 10.
Yeah.
But it looked entertaining from like a viewer standpoint for the most part.
No,
Yeah, you really only see ratting when you're like down a player or two, and you're in like the later rounds.
Yeah,
and
and you
it's
need
like, all right,
points.
you're just gonna hide out until you can like get, guarantee
an
an
opportunity.
opportunity third party.
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll definitely have to check that out here.
But Lewis knows that from watching Apex.
Yeah. It is
I actually
very
need to
much
watch
like that.
Apex.
You should watch Apex, and like I think I mentioned, I don't know if we said it on the podcast,
Last
but
week.
PUBG.
Yeah.
PUBG, yeah. I actually been meaning to look at that. Literally, since we talked about it, I've thought about it at least like 3 times that I recall. Like randomly, I'll just be going about my day, and I'm like, oh yeah, PUBG. I'm just not in the situation to do it.
It's like always on too because
Oh, I saw a tweet. That's what happened. I saw a tweet like this last weekend about some.
Well, Sims
United has a team.
Yeah, United has a North American.
Yeah.
But they have like an Asian region, they have a EMEA region,
I'll check it
and then
out.
they have. It's usually always on.
Yeah.
Definitely something to check out.
Oh yeah.
We have a screenshot that Matty posted, and it's from Halo Infinite. I feel like that's kind of been like the thing this week has been, let's break down every frame of everything.
2 weeks.
Show me all the pixels
until we know everything about the game. This Spartan is running with the flag on his back. What it looks like to me is watching someone run with the flag in Call of Duty, which I'm okay with.
Yep.
How do you guys feel about being able to use your weapons and stuff freely?
Well, here's the thing: if you
I have
can,
the same opinion you do, I think.
if you can sprint full speed with the flag and still run and shoot, I'm not for that.
Yeah, there needs to be a nerf of some sort to that.
I think if like it looks like they're sprinting from that third party view that we saw in the big team battle. So I think if they put it somewhere in between sprinting and walking at like a regular pace, I'd be okay with that.
I think sprinting really works in Call of Duty because it's such a low time to kill.
But can I play devil's advocate and ask why you think that, Matty? Like why is it not? Why can't it be in Halo where you like run, shoot, and carry a flag?
Just because keeping Halo like separate, one of the things that made it different than any other title was there was almost like it wasn't, I guess, a punishment to being the objective. Like when you had the oddball or the flag, you moved slower.
You had to play it more strategically.
Yeah. So I'm fine with the shooting, shooting with it on your back, but I think they shouldn't be able to move as fast.
Yeah.
With the Magnum, and everybody has
right, but you still move slower.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
This one,
I was just agreeing with the Magnum, with the being able to shoot back portion of it. I agree with that.
Yeah. I think the time to kill, like you were saying, Matty, makes a big difference on that as well. Like if you can sprint, the time to kill needs to be shorter.
Yeah.
Like if you can sprint with the flag, they need to like lower your shield or something to like even it out. Otherwise, you're just gonna sprint, jump the flag, throw it at somebody, and they're gonna sprint, jump the flag up, and it's gonna be quick.
Question: we don't know if the shields work like in Halo 5, do we? Like where if you sprint, they don't recharge. We don't know anything about that. I just realized that. Wow. I also to agree with your point now, and not play devil's advocate. I just wanted to see like your point of view from that. I think juggling the flag has been like a staple in Halo for a long time, and being like you said, like the objective player where you're normally at a disadvantage, but being like a really good flag juggler. I feel like I was saying that wrong. Was really good, and like really good ones. For example, one of the greatest, Shotzi, you could see when somebody was like zooming with the flag. Just by, like,
it would pop up here, and then it would pop up all the way on the other side.
Yeah, you're just like, wait, what? Like, if you see his POV too, this guy's like, it's like it doesn't even have the flag. It was so cool. So I think juggling the flag to me is like very legacy of Halo. So it's funny.
I think this though is actually I think this is to eliminate flag juggling, just to lower the skill. Because before, like Halo 5, if you don't know how to juggle the flag, you're gonna get destroyed.
Yeah.
So you need to learn how to do these series of button combos.
Yeah, I think juggling the flag in Halo 5 was really important because I don't think a lot of people were able to do it well.
But when you hit that one good flag run on Truth, you're just like, oh, I'm the best.
Right, but the whole thing is, if you can't do this series of button combination, you're not going to be good.
Yeah.
So the whole thing is to eliminate that, so everyone can run the flag.
Yeah, everyone has a chance.
Yeah.
I feel you.
We'll see. I don't know.
I just don't.
It depends on the shield thing too, I think.
Yeah. I just don't
And
want
like
that
you said, this could also change because, like I mentioned earlier, everything is subject to change because everything we saw is pre-release footage on who knows which build. Because they literally showed the one trailer that had the one battle rifle reticle, and everyone complained about it. And then the next day, we had the other trailer that had the different.
Yeah, it was like the weird cross, like actual cross one, and then the legacy one with the circle and cross. I can't do it.
Yeah, so I was saying, like, we probably saw footage. We probably saw footage from like a ton of different builds that all had different settings.
I just don't want them to dumb it down enough, like too much. Like I don't want them to make it
that's
dumb
what's
down
going to be
enough
interesting.
for casuals to just like.
And we don't know. Competitive settings are always different, so we don't even know what competitive
that's
setting.
the biggest thing to remember is that, like, people complaining about this flag running, like running with the flag. You can turn that
Could
off.
not even be
You know,
competitive,
like people were talking about the equipment.
Play style. Like, are they going to change it when it comes time to having a ranked playlist?
Or they might just, you might be able to run with the flag, but they just lower the movements.
And like it's like the equipment deal. Like people were complaining about the grapple. Like, oh, that's not going to be competitive. But like Halo 3 had equipment and you didn't use it in competitive.
Yeah, I think grapple is going to be in competitive. I think it's going to be limited uses.
And I
think at least that. I think at least at first they'll have it in, just like how, like obviously if it turns out to be as OP, and I don't really see a situation where it would be. I could see it giving like an advantage. I don't see it being overpowered just because you can't kill with it. But you can definitely put yourself at a bigger advantage, or put your team at a bigger advantage with like being able to like, oh, your team died with sniper over there. Let me just, you know.
But that's
like,
what it's
like,
about. Is you get the equipment so you can have the advantage.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. I think even if it's in the game at first, like at launch, and competitive for a while, doesn't necessarily mean it'll be there in like the long run. Like, because we saw ARs and fully automatic weapons get taken out of Halo 5 in like the latter half of it. So that was something that we thought might never be a thing because of how much the devs and people at 243 were like, but we want the fuel rod cannon on Truth. Oh, but we want our guns here. Oh, but this gun is so cool. Like
that's a good thing though, is that it's equipment, so it could be easily just removed. Rather than like Halo 5 where you couldn't remove, like they took Halo Infinite and they're like, all right, there's no abilities, but we turned them into equipment. Where in Halo 5 they weren't just going to turn off all the abilities.
You just go into settings and just turn it off, and it was done. Like, you don't have to use it for that.
And Halo's been really good about that in pretty much all their games. You've had like a lot of customization, or you'd be able to edit a lot of like the player traits, which I think has been a thing for a long time. Like even Halo 3 had stuff like that. Yeah.
And their idea behind the equipment being a pickup, or the abilities being equipment pickups, like they said in the trailer, is, do you go for the grapple, or do you go for a power weapon, or do you go for an overkill? Like, the decision making is what's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be, you know, I think it's going to make for a lot of interesting strategy teams.
Yeah, it's like dodgeball. It's like, who's going for a ball? Am I going for a ball?
Yeah.
Or are we just giving them up?
I think
so. I like their like idea behind it work.
I think the biggest thing, like you were saying, that they've been really good about having that ability to customize the game exactly how you want it to be. The biggest thing of that is they need to actually do it. They need to listen to the community, to the players, and I think with Esports Engine being a big part of the HCS now, I think that's going to help. But they need to listen sooner, because I feel like the last season of HCS they actually did. Like you said, they took out the ARs, they took out the automatics, but it took 2 years for that.
See, I think though, I think a lot of people are riding this Esports Engine thing like they're going to be the deciding factor. It's not going to be like Halo 3. Esports Engine is just running the operation. They're not determining the setting.
I think though it's way different with Halo Infinite in terms of like how competitive it's going to be run and how the devs are going to listen to the community for a few different reasons. Halo 5 had a lot of their dev team quit. And then so when new devs came in and were trying to fix that code that they didn't write, it made it impossible to tweak things like heavy aim that hung around to this day because you cannot remove it because they don't understand the code because they didn't write it. Whereas like for Infinite, they're not trying to deal with solutions, or sorry, they're not trying to deal with issues like that, and rather like offer solutions and be able to be responsive. Like they, I think Matty, you mentioned this, if not the last time, but the time before, where whatever their community developers are like trying to be more active in like listening and responding and putting out updates more often, more like you see bigger games do, like for like I mentioned earlier, Valorant. I know Overwatch is good with that. I know a lot of other really big games are very responsive to the community and bugs and just tweaking the game whenever it's necessary. So hopefully 343 is also as responsive as it says they're going to be.
Yeah, I was just commenting on a lot of people are like, oh, esports engine, it's going to be, settings will be fine, but it's like esports engine isn't going to determine setting.
They're not going to
determine the tournament, how cool the tournament is.
Right. They'll be good at relaying feedback to 343.
Yeah.
That's what I mean. They're just going to be another voice that has the experience. They've done it. Because everyone there was part of MLG. I mean, I think that's another voice like that is somebody that 343 will be able to listen to. And it's not just, our pro players are complaining.
Right. I don't think, though, esports engine is going to be like, hey, we think you should change the settings. They're going to go, hey, we're getting a lot of feedback from people saying you should change the setting.
No,
take out the rocket launcher.
It's still, I mean, it is just another channel, I guess. Like, it's another voice.
Yeah, because when it was MLG during Halo 3, MLG literally figured out what the settings were, and that's what everybody played, so they used it. But then now you have HCS. They weren't around during Halo. So MLG was the only thing that was there. Now you have HCS.
That MLG playlist, man, was so intimidating. I remember I hovered it a lot before thinking about it and solo queuing, and I just wouldn't do it. I think I played it maybe like a handful of times, man, back then. Like, I was too scared. I was like, it's so official. I was like, I don't want to play that.
Dude, I wish I could have played it during those times, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I played Lone Wolves, I think, and SWAT. And I got like 47s in both, but I never got 50.
Yeah. So even going back to before when we mentioned like you can adjust the movement speed, that's what they did with the MLG playlist. I think it was like 110%.
Mm-hmm.
So
a lot of different tweaks.
And they keep saying this slow space engine is going to be perfect for making quick changes. So.
You know what I'd like to see is a tournament. A Halo 3 throwback tournament where they are allowed to use like certain pieces of equipment. I remember
there's a streamer that does that.
Which streamer does that?
There's a streamer. His name's Tylenol.
Oh, I know Tylenol.
And him and the YouTuber Tommy Cost, they run tournaments with pretty decent prize pool, $2,000 usually. Cool. And he's known for, they call him like Radar 2v2s or not. Because they play the social setting, but they have tournaments and they have really big turnouts because most of his money is crowdfunded.
Cool. Yeah, I was saying specifically towards like pro teams to do it, and like to convince them to do it. I think it'd be really cool because I heard the Sen team talk about it once, where like it'd be funny if they were able to use like that flash orb thing or whatever, like you just throw that, push the base,
the flare,
the flare, or like that regen thing, or like like specific pieces of equipment where it's not too much. Like it'd be, I think that'd be pretty funny to see like a full tournament be organized like that with like top teams. It'd be a little wacky, but it'd be cool.
It'd be fun.
The grab lift? Come on, give me a grab lift.
That would actually be really funny.
Throw a power drain inside a flag base and just drain.
Just throw it at spawn, dude. Oh no! You just get
you just have 4 ARs just mowing everybody down.
Oh man.
That's actually really funny.
The power drain was OP though. It drained shit.
Power drain was bad. It could kill you if it blew up. Right.
Oh yeah. If you stood in it like an idiot.
Yeah, good thing I never did that.
Dude, okay, I got all the guides for like Halo CE through Halo 4, I think, like the full like book. And
yeah, I have 2 and 3 right over there.
Bro,
Nice.
in the Halo 3 one, it's like given like pro tips, and it says you can throw. It's on narrows, and it's like if you time it right, you can throw a bubble shield into the lift and ride in the middle, and it just shows a Spartan in the air with a bubble around him, just like flying across the main cannon.
Pro tip, by the way.
There's one of those that I have that has like flame sword in it.
Oh, cool. That's funny. It's probably like a late
Probably
Halo
like-
3, maybe Halo 4.
Yeah,
I think it's
Reach
Halo
even.
4. It has flame sword and maybe assault, and like somebody else.
That's
can't
funny.
do, but it has like flame
good.
swords pro tip. It's so funny. That's all we have written down. Is there anything else anybody want to talk about in particular?
No.
Covers it.
That's all I got.
Anything to promote? I'm gonna promote Darin's stream because he's like
Oh, do it.
literally 5
yeah, I
minutes
just-
away from affiliate.
I just broke 100 followers yesterday.
Oh,
I
nice.
feel like you were just pushing for 50.
Yeah, it was.
His
I
streams were popping.
was some streams and chatting with some people, and all of a sudden, just bam, people got rated, and people just started following people. I hit 100 yesterday, and I am this close to affiliate. So
Hell yeah.
it's been real, and it's been super hype. I woke up this morning, looked at my numbers, and I got super excited. So
So yeah, go follow him and make sure you turn on notifications so you know when he goes live. And just tune in. It's twitch.tv
yeah.
Mr. Durwood.
I can't say anything specific yet, but if you like Halo 5 and you like fun competition, watch me this weekend. Follow my Twitter.
Follow
Cool.
your Twitter or your Noob Combo.
Follow my Twitter. Either or.
Okay.
Because it's going to be...
I thought your Twitter was Noob Combo.
It's not announced yet, but so I'm not going to say what it is, but
Cool.
So
I'll
follow.
be competing in something this weekend on a stream.
Oh,
He's
cool.
going hard on the main stage. Let's go.
Spoilers.
yo, I'm streaming.
So yeah, we'll follow at Matty Rums, and is it just at Noob Combo?
Noob Combo com, like noobcombo.com, but without the dot.
No doubt, baby.
That's a lot out.
I guess they can also follow me at Lewis Superboy. I'll take that.
Do it.
Why not?
Follow his Twitch.
Yeah.
And watch all his videos that he edits. 'Cause you'll probably watch them anyway.
I'm a terrible friend.
Dude. Never mind. I'll take this after.
The only thing I have to promote is this podcast. So subscribe.
Hey.
Subscribe to our YouTube. If you're watching this, go subscribe on like Spotify, Apple Podcasts.
Do it.
If you're listening, go watch us, and you'll see our faces and gang signs and everything else that we're doing.
Oh no.
Subscribe to our
Nightmare.
YouTube and like comment. Tell us what you think. Share it with your friends if you want to.
Give us stuff to talk about as well.
Yeah, like just
Yeah.
give us stuff. Like just tell us what you want us to talk about.
I'm old, so I can give you life advice.
Yeah, Matty's old.
Financial advice too? Like you can totally do that.
I'm out of
A little bit.
Taxes?
I can tell you what not.
Taxes for?
Yeah, I'll tell you what not.
My mom does it for me.
Shout out, mom. Also, shout
Shout
out,
out
mom.
moms. Shout out fathers, dude. Father's Day was this past week.
Oh yeah.
Shout out our
Facts.
dads.
Yeah, both of mine.
Did you guys?
Damn, weird flex, dude. I don't have one.
No.
I just went and talked to my dad.
I'm
We
Well,
ate
you
food.
talking about like this past weekend?
yeah.
So
That's a beach.
I got drunk at my friend's kid's 1-year-old birthday party, and I passed out in my chair when I got home. With
I'm
the
glad
worst
you made it
pain-
home before you passed out. And you
With
didn't
the
pass out.
worst pain in my neck. I woke up just hunched over.
dude.
Damn.
How
Yeah,
many
these parties go hard, bro.
Take.
Don't let anybody lie to you.
That's amazing. That's funny.
That's
We cooked pork loin in an air fryer, and it was literally the best thing I've ever eaten in my entire life.
I don't know if I've ever had that.
Dude, it's
Air
serious.
fryers, man.
I need an air fryer.
Cheat codes.
Yeah, I think that's gonna do it for this week's episode. Like I said, follow us. Follow everybody's Twitter. It's all gonna be in the description. Everybody's Twitch, Twitter, websites is all there. So give it a follow.
Social Security.
Yeah.
Tax.
Wink. So yeah, just make sure to follow and just come back next week and leave us a comment. Tell us how we did.
Do that.
Or tell us what you don't like.
Yes, and you don't say me because I'll cry.
Yeah, don't say names. Just hint.
All right, thanks for listening.